Well, hey there. This is Zeke. I'm out in my workshop. It's October 18th, 2014. And yesterday, before I went to work, I did what I always do. I turned on the news so I could listen to the traffic and weather reports and figure out how my day might start out or go. And there was a story about a young man, 17 years old, who is suing his school district for $1.2 million because he was bullied. And this story has been bothering me a lot because I think that discussing this story can really illustrate a great deal of what has gone wrong in American society over the last 60, 70 years, maybe 100 years. It's been a gradual slip. But anyway, first of all, let's talk about bullying. If you use the definition that is commonly used nowadays about bullying, for example, if a person dyes their hair bright pink and then goes out in public and another person says to that person, "Why is your hair bright pink? It looks stupid," would be considered bullying. Used to be that would be considered speaking the truth, but nowadays it's considered bullying. If you use that definition or that criteria to define what bullying is, pretty much everybody who lives and breathes past the age of 2 has either bullied or been bullied by somebody, and in the future will bully or be bullied by others. The truth is, bullying is a fact of life. And true bullying is also a fact of life. And my view on it is the younger you are taught to learn how to deal with bullying and counteract bullying, the better off you are. Because it's just a tool of life. So let's talk about this news story. I saw the young man was interviewed, and I saw the interview, and frankly, he was a handsome young man who was well spoken. But when you listen to the words that he's saying, and you look at the lawsuit that he is bringing, he sounds like a 5-year-old having a temper tantrum. And the worst part is his parents are supporting him in his lawsuit. So let's dive into this just a little bit. Let's say the young man was bullied. And the words that he used was people would kind of shove him around and knock his books out of his hands. Who hasn't had that happen to them? The thing about it is, this young man seems to think that it's only happened to him and nobody else. Truth is, that sort of thing happens to pretty much every kid growing up at one level or another in their life. So, my question is, first of all, why is he suing the school district? According to the news story, he talked to his teachers and his counselors and his principal, and they didn't do much about it. Okay, well, let's look at the reality of it. Teachers and principals and counselors really can't do much about anything anymore because lawsuits have tied their hands. They're not able to do much other than talk to or give a timeout to a kid that is being unruly. So we're expecting them to work miracles while we give them no tools to do it. That's one. 2, his parents are supporting this. Well, I have to ask, what did his parents do to either teach him how to counter bullying or address the parents of the bullies? You know, that's the way it used to be done. When I was a kid, if somebody was bullying me or one of my brothers or our friends, the parents would actually have a conversation, an adult, moderate conversation where the parents of the bullied child would say, your son is bullying my child, or pushing my child around, or doing something wrong. And the parents of the child who was doing something wrong would say, I'm terribly sorry about that. We'll see what we can do about it. And they would handle it. But nowadays, if you went to talk to the parent of another child, you would be threatened with a lawsuit. And you would be treated in the manner where they would say something like, who the fuck are you to tell me how to raise my child? See, we live in a society now where people seem to want to define themselves by their victim status. And people seem to want to be vindicated in their victim status. And parents seem to be encouraging it, and we don't give society at large, i.e. teachers, principals, counselors, or other parents, the tools to address these problems directly, which is the way they should be addressed. Now, let's think about this. The kid is suing the school district. So let's say he finds a judge that says, yep, you're a victim and you deserve $1.2 million. Okay, so this kid gets a settlement of $1.2 million. What did that solve? What problem did that really address? I'm going to say none. The bullies that apparently bullied this kid, they'll have no consequence at all. The school administrators, who apparently left him hanging out there with no help at all, will have no consequences at all. Nobody's going to be fired. But who's really paying the cost? The taxpayers, the same people who paid for this kid's education in the first place. They had nothing to do with the bullying. They had no control over the situation, but they're going to pay $1.2 million to this kid because he feels like a victim. This does not address the problem, and it never will. But here in liberal Seattle, well, he's a victim, and by golly, he deserves some retribution. So it doesn't really matter who pays the bill, and it doesn't really matter if the problem ever gets addressed directly, so long as he feels better about himself. Right? This is the problem. This is the problem, America. Can we please wake up and start growing up and acting like adults, all of us? Thanks. You have a great day.